Here we are at the Great Lake right next to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. In this video we're going to show you how to make oil-free vegan pumpkin pasties in honor of Harry Potter. Preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. First we'll make the pumpkin filling. This filling recipe will fill 16 pasties. In a large bowl, add 1 cup of canned pumpkin. Then add 3/4 cups of date paste, which is just a half cup of dates blended with 3/4 cup of water. Add 2 to 4 tablespoons of maple syrup, depending on how sweet you like it. Add 1 teaspoon of vanilla, a half teaspoon of cinnamon, and a half teaspoon of nutmeg. Add an 1/8 teaspoon of lemon juice, then stir until combined and set aside. Next, make the crusts. This crust recipe will make 8 pasties. In another big bowl, add 1 cup of white whole wheat pastry flour. You could also use an all-purpose gluten-free flour if you're trying to avoid gluten. Also add a half cup of oatmeal flour and a 1/4 cup of tapioca flour. Add a 1/4 cup of coconut sugar. Then add 2 teaspoons of baking powder and stir until combined. Form a well in the center of the dry ingredients. You're going to need to then blend 1 15-ounce can of chickpeas and the included juice in a food processor and add this to the well. Next, add 2 to 4 tablespoons of maple syrup, again depending on how sweet you like it. Also add 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Stir everything together and then knead with your hands until a big ball of sticky dough forms. If the dough is too sticky to handle, you may need to add a bit more flour. Roll the dough out onto a floured surface with a rolling pin till it's about a 1/4 inch thick. Use a 4.5 inch wide round cookie cutter or tart mold like I did to cut about 8 circles out of the dough. You may need to run a knife underneath each circle just to make sure that it doesn't stick to your surface. Place a heaping teaspoon of filling in the center of the circle and gently fold the circle in half, pressing down the edges with your fingers. Repeat this with all 8 circles of dough. Using the excess dough and a cookie cutter, make stars for the tops of the pasties. Stick the stars on the top of the pasties by brushing a bit of non-dairy milk onto the center of each pasty and placing the star on top. Use a knife to cut slits around the stars and to make a pattern along the edges of the pasties. Once you're done, bake the pasties in the oven for 20 minutes or until lightly browned. They smell so good. Oh no! I realized I'm late to Transfiguration!